welcome back to the farm. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, ages 9 down to 4, and here on my channel we talk all things homeschooling, homesteading, and homemaking. Today's video is going to be a collaboration with Jennifer at Family of 3 Homeschool, and she has put together this awesome collaboration of a lot of moms on YouTube that use Masterbooks curriculum. There's not a lot of videos out there about Masterbooks, and so she wanted to put this collab together to kind of showcase different curriculum that Masterbooks has to offer. And today I'm going to show you inside Math Lessons of a Living Education Level 1, and I'm also going to show you a lesson that I do with my daughter as we kind of introduce her to the Place Value Village. If you know anything about Math Lessons of a Living Education, Place Value Village is a big proponent and a big thing that you use throughout the levels, of the younger levels for sure. And so I'm going to show you that today. I also want to tell you before we get into today's video that there is a giveaway associated with this video. All of the information that you need is going to be down in the description below, but 3 winners are going to win a $100 e-gift card to christianbook.com so that you can purchase Masterbooks curriculum or any curriculum that you are needing that you can use as your family needs fit, and hopefully is a blessing to you. So don't forget to check out the description box below. Also, there's a playlist down there as well where you can get to all the other moms videos that are participating in this collab today, and I hope that you find something that is helpful and enjoyable for you and your family. So let's get into today's video. Okay, so this is what I am showcasing today. It is Math Lessons of a Living Education. Now you will notice it is torn apart. It does not come like this. It comes in a bound book. I'll insert a picture right here, but it comes in a bound book, and I have taken it apart to make better use for my family. So I'm going to give you kind of a quick flip through of it really quickly, and then we're going to get into a lesson with me and my daughter. If you have seen my curriculum picks video for, I think it's 1st grade, you will have already seen kind of a little bit of a rundown with this, but now that we have actually started using it, I can kind of tell you a little more about it. But I will put that video up here in a card if you would like to check that out and you have not already done so. So like I said, I have torn the book apart. I'm notorious for tearing workbooks apart, but it better fits us if I do that. So what this is kind of like my teacher's guide, because it all comes bound together. The manipulatives, the scope and sequence, the schedule, like how you schedule your lessons go, and the answer key, all of that is in one bound book. So all I've done is just pulled all of the teacher-ish stuff out, and then this has all of the pages, like the workbook pages in it. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through this. This lives in our teacher's cart in Amelia's magazine holder that has all of her teacher's guides for her specific grade of 1st grade. So these are leveled, not necessarily to go along with grade, but she is in the 1st grade, and so we have level 1. And the first page is just the scope and sequence. It just kind of goes over everything that they're going to be learning. We've been really honing in these first several weeks. She's made it down to, I think we're on lesson 8. So we're on lesson 8 right now. And so she is really honing in on numbers, writing her numbers really well, also learning patterns and different shapes. And then we just recently started place value. So that's actually the lesson that I found was doing place value with her. And then it goes into some basic addition and counting by tens, grouping, working on tally marks, counting by 5s, telling time, goes into simple fractions, reviews of shapes, and then reviewing of skip counting is kind of all the things that this goes through. In the first couple of pages of the book, it just tells you kind of how to do this curriculum, how it is laid out, and gives you some prompts of like how to best lay out this course. There's also a supply list of things that you are going to need for this lesson. It also tells you how to use the manipulatives. And then if you were like to grade assignments, it just tells you it's very subjective, that you can just give an A for mastery. We don't do grades in our family. It's just if they get all the concepts, then I move them on to the next thing. And then this is what I was talking about with the layout. It kind of lays everything out for you. Now I'm finding that if she is moving and understanding concepts really well, she may go ahead and do up to 2 or 3 lessons in a day. It just depends on how well she is going with it. If it's a lot of review, she moves through them very quickly. If it's something that's harder, then we'll camp out on it for a couple of days and just do some practice and all of that with it as well. So, and then in this book, it has the appendix. It just has some project descriptions and how to make flashcards. There aren't really any answer keys. Everything in this book is pretty much self-explanatory, but if you do get up into some of the higher up levels, they do come with the answer key in the back. We are using up to level, we're using level K, level 1, level 2, and level 3 this year with different kids in our family. So it's been neat to kind of see how all of this works. And so I'm just going to walk you through the binder really quick. So I've just taken all of the manipulatives out, and they're sitting here in the front of her binder ready for her to use. We have our number cards are here, our days of the week, months of the year. We have the clock that you build is there, all the different charts. Everything's been laminated that they will use throughout the course. And then if you're unfamiliar with how math lessons of a living education is laid out, it starts off the first day of your lesson with a story. You are following Charlotte and Charlie. They're two twins. They are twin siblings, and you are following them through their adventures. This is the one where they're at Grandma and Grandpa's farm, and they're learning all about math, shapes, all the different things that they need to know as they are at the farm for the summer. So you have the story. It's a little front and back story. Amelia has enjoyed to get to follow the characters, and then this is one that she's already done. And then it has, we're working here on number tracing, and then she had to draw different circles or dots to reference that number. And then you have 5 exercises for the week, just varying different exercises. And then at the end of the week, you have a review, and then you help write a letter back home to Charlie and Charlotte's parents, telling them all the things that they did at Grandma and Grandpa's farm for that week. And then it goes into another story as well for the next week. But I have really, really enjoyed this curriculum. It has been a breath of fresh air for our family. We use almost everything that we use in our homeschool is master books. And it has just been, like I said, a breath of fresh air. Specifically the math, we were using another one that was not very colorful. It was Math UC. Not that there's anything wrong with Math UC, but my kids were just getting very bored with it. And my husband suggested this past year when we were at a homeschooling conference that we go ahead and switch them over to something else. And I was already looking at a bunch of stuff that Master Books had to offer, and he picked up this curriculum and thumbed through it, and he said, I think that's great. I think we need to use it because it helps them understand math, concepts that you're going to see in everyday life. So it relates it to your living. Why do you need to count by 12s? Well, a ruler is 12 inches. And if you need to put something every foot, then you need to know how to count by that. And we were able to kind of hone in on that skill when we were building our fence in our backyard. We needed to put a post every 12 feet. So during that project with our family, I was able to go over with our kids counting by 12s and multiples of 12s. They didn't realize they were multiplying, but they were. So that has just been really neat for this curriculum, is relating this back to real life. And I think when you do that, most often it sparks curiosity, and it helps it stick a lot more. And it's like, oh, why do I need to use this? I'm never going to use this again. I remember saying that in algebra, but I've used it again. So anyway, but now we will get into that lesson. I hope that you guys enjoy it, and I will see you back in just a minute. All right, so we're going to go over the math lesson. We have math 1. She is in lesson number 7. I just walked you all through the look inside of this, and so I wanted you to also see how we do a lesson with in this book. And so the lesson that we're doing is learning to count with bigger numbers and place value. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the story to her. Each lesson starts off with a story, and then we're going to do the exercises that goes along with it. So follow along with this. Okay. All right. The back of this book, you'll find several pages for the place value. Cut them out. Gather 3 cups. I've already done that. So I also, supplies that I have on hand for math that I keep are these counters. These just came from the Target dollar spot. They're just erasers. That's what we use. I think it says in this supply box that you could use beans. We have those too. The kids just like the colorful erasers. And then I have this box tub right here that has all of our place value stuff in it. They say in the directions to use beans. I modified it a little bit, and I was able to get this place value set off of Amazon. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I will link it down below in the description. So what they're telling you to do is to set up the place value village. And what I did is these takeout cups that we get from the Mexican restaurant. I just found 3 of them because we're not quite to the thousands place yet with my other kids. And I colored and laminated the house thing, and so that's what we use for those. So that's what they're telling you on this first page. I don't need to read that to her. We've already set that up. Okay, now let's get to the story. Okay. Off the table. All right, the twins are excited. Grandma and Grandpa had promised to tell a story that would teach them about numbers larger than 9. After supper, Grandpa invited the children to come sit with him in the big chair. Children, you have learned a lot in the time that you have. Grandpa nodded his head. It is very important to hear this story in stages. Because it is a learning story, you need to understand each part before moving on to the next. Let's practice what I've shown you to now, and tomorrow I will tell you the other part. Okay, so let's. Do you have?
Is it the same thing that Liliana did?
Yes. So, in the back of the book, they give these manipulative things. So this is the place value village counting mat. So I'm going to give that to Amelia. And we are going to practice what we just read about, Amelia, okay? Okay. So you need a dry erase marker. Can you go grab one over there? Actually, get that wet erase marker. Just bring a whole bucket of the colored ones here. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do just what we just read in the story. So we have the ones house, the tens house, and the hundreds house. We're not going to get to the hundreds today. We're just going to use these 2. All right. In the ones house, only 9 groups can live there. So we're going to pretend that these little squares, we're using these squares, you could use beans, are people. So only 9 people can live there, okay? And then only 9 people can live in the tens house. So if we get 10 here, what happens?
You have to move to the next.
They've got to move next door, kind of like we do when we move houses. We add somebody to move. We've done that several times. Okay, we're also going to need, instead of doing the baggies, I have 10 blocks. So if you didn't have baggies and you used beans, what you would do is you would have like those little snack bags. you would have the little snack bags, and so when you get 10 beans out of here, you would put the 10 beans in a snack bag and zip it up so that represents a group of 10, and then you would just put it in the tens house. And then it also comes with, when you get to the hundreds, it comes with like a little cutout of 100 beans, so you don't have to package up an entire thing and put them in there. There are YouTube videos. I'll try to link to one down below that Master Books has put out on place value that explains it if you don't have a place value set. It was just easier for me and takes up less space if I have this already. So, all right, so let's go. Okay, so we're gonna count. So start. All right, so right now we have 0. So you need to write 0 up here at the top. Good. All right, so put 1 person in the house. Good. All right, now how many do you have?
1.
Okay, so write 1. Good. All right, add 1 more. Good. All right, write your number 2. Oh, that's backwards.
Wait, that's a C?
That's an S. That's okay. We'll keep going. All right, we're going to add 1 more. How many are in there now?
3.
Write your number. All right, now listen, you can't write too big because we got to get all the numbers right here in this column, okay? All right, let's add 1 more. How many are in there now?
4.
4. Good. Good.
That's
All right,
starting.
9. All right, so if we add 1 more, uh-oh,
You have to move to the next.
too many people live in that house, so we're going to dump them out, and they're going to go next door, and they're going to change into
10.
a 10. So add 10. Add the 10 block. Good. All right, so if we have 1 10 here, how many are here?
0.
0. Okay, so we write this, we put 1 here, and then we put a 0 there. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens if I do that?
There's only 1 in there.
Right, so that would be, we ran out of room. Let's see, we would have 1 and 1. What number is that?
12.
Not 12.
13.
No, 11. 11. We'll get to that later. But we just learned to count to 10. Another thing that is this is not for this level, but I also found, I'll link this as well below, but I found this for our older kids because they all do Master Books math as well, level 2 and level 3. But I found this, and so instead of using the mat, she's still learning to write her numbers, so that's why I have her write it. But my other ones that know how to write, it just flips. So if you can see it, it just flips over. So you can do 11, and then you could do like 111 type down. So that way they don't have to write it. I've had them do this mat for the first time, and once I know that they understand the concepts, I have them use this. I'll link that below. That came off of Amazon as well. Okay, all right, what I want you to do for practicing of your writing, I want you to go ahead and do exercise 2. So do your copy work there. So grab your pencil. Don't be making faces. Copy work is not a favorite of my kids. All right, so work on getting those numbers written correctly, okay? And then I just stack them up. The good thing about this is this stacks neatly and goes right into this tub. All right, keep going.
I like that backwards.
No, you didn't. This one. Keep going.
I accidentally wrote it.
I have found too that when we use markers on these laminated sheets, that the wet erase markers, these Expo markers actually work best versus a dry erase marker. the dry erase marker, I have a really hard time getting it off once it dries. So I prefer to use the wet erase markers on the laminated sheets. Add it in there. It's got to fit. No, on that line. Put it in there.
How about this? 10.
Okay. All right, what about the next line?
3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
All right, good job. All right, guys, thank you for joining me in today's video. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you found it encouraging, and I hope that your family gets something out of this video. And also, don't forget to check out the description box below. There are several things in there that are important that you're going to want to check out. Number 1 is the playlist for all the moms videos that are participating in this collab. Thank you again, Jennifer, for putting this together. All right, number 2 is the giveaway link. That's down in the description. There you are going to find out the rules and how all the giveaways laid out. 3 winners are going to get a $100 e-gift card to Christian Book. So don't forget to check that out down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't done so already, and I would love for you to stick around by subscribing, and we will catch you in another video very soon. Bye, guys.